Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode. Tonight, I'm going to basically just continue off from where I left off the other night. Got this thing up and looked underneath it. I'm going to get that plastic cover, pull off underneath the fuel feed line. Going to probably disconnect that here. Just get her disconnected from the front of the engine, from the bottom of the fuel pump, or fuel filter. And then I'll see what's going on after that. Alright, so I got that plastic cover pulled off. What I found is what basically I was expecting, but all of the lines back here, the brake lines, the fuel lines, they are all rusted out. Basically the whole length of the underside of this car, which kind of sucks, but it really does not surprise me for a 25-year-old car that's been driven in Canada. So, I'm going to go up to the front and pull off the intake and probably the battery and try and get myself a little bit more working room. Try and disconnect it from the bottom of the fuel filter, but now I'm going to have to start looking into replacing all these brake lines in the back, which, like I said, kind of sucks. Alright, so it is a different night here from the last time I recorded. Last time I was recording, we're underneath the car and taking a look at the fuel lines, and we discovered that the brake lines were pretty rusted out. I'm figuring, seeing as how I'm down there, I might as well replace the fuel lines while I'm down there. But I'm kind of thinking that this project here is going to take a different path than I had first expected. I plan on basically ripping this car down to the frame and the shell of the car and just kind of restarting right straight from scratch is kind of my plan. Digging around from what I seen in the motor. Oh, not from what I seen in the motor. Just the fuel lines that are ran, like the line from the filter just to the fuel rail. It's got 3 splices in it. Just the ground connections I'm seeing, I'm not trusting them. So I'm really thinking it's time to just gut this thing completely and turn it into a full project. So I have never pulled a motor before. So that'll be a first for me. I've never stripped a car down to basically just the shell of the car and restarted. So that is also a first for me. So bear with me. I'm sure there's going to be a few mistakes here and there. So I don't know. That's just kind of my
thoughts, update kind of plan? So plan right now, I don't have a engine hoist to pull the motor out. So as of right now, I'm going to disconnect the exhaust, disconnect the fuel lines. I'm probably going to try and get under there, disconnect the shifter linkage. Just start basically pulling out and labeling whatever I can. I think I'm going to try and do a wire tuck on this engine here once I kind of get everything pulled out, kind of clean up all these big mess of wiring harnesses that he's got going on here, or I've got going on here, I should say. But yeah, that is kind of the plan right now, is start just disassembling whatever I can with. Hey everybody, it's a new day here. Last night we kind of finished off by pulling the rad out, started messing around with the wiring harness there a little bit inside the engine bay, started unplugging some things, kind of labeling things, how they're going to go back together. We're kind of switched gears from the original plan of just kind of getting this thing going into a full-on project car. Like I said, I do plan on pulling the engine out of this. That's kind of the process we're at now. Kind of show you here where we are. Yesterday we pulled the rad out of the engine bay, got all that cleared out of there. We pulled the headlights. They are now over up there. Like I said, we started disconnecting the wiring harness from the engine bay. I'm going to start disconnecting these lines from the battery, remove the battery of the intake, remove the heater core line there. Yeah. Update on what I've been doing. I've been doing a few things off camera here. Just got all the positive, everything disconnected from the positive battery, all that taken out, disconnected from the starter. Pulled all the coolant lines off to the throttle body, off all the return lines. Just pulled a few of the vacuum lines off. Just trying to gain access to the rear motor mount back here. As of right now, I'm just going to kind of keep disconnecting things that don't really need to be connected to the engine. One thing I noticed while I was back here, I noticed that the fuel line is spliced together over there, and over there, and I think I seen a third spot. I thought it was spliced together in 3 spots. Yeah, whatever, that'll be replaced anyways. But just a little progress update on things. So I'm calling that an episode. A little more progress on tonight's video than the last couple. Hope you're all enjoying it. It's coming along slowly, but it's coming along. Next episode, I'm probably going to just continue on dismantling everything in the engine bay. I'll probably start looking at getting the shocks, or not the shocks, the axles pulled off, so I can potentially pull this engine here sometime soon. I've still got to figure out what I'm doing for a hoist or an engine crane. I'm going to see around and see if anybody's got one I can borrow or something. I don't really feel like spending the money on something I'm only going to use a couple times. Like if I could borrow it for a couple nights here and then leave it and then borrow it again some other time. But yeah, I'll figure that out. Hope you're enjoying it. If you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, a like. If you want to follow this project I've got going here, subscribe. There's more content to come. It's kind of been a little slow, but just doing this on my off time. It's not a full-time kind of gig kind of deal. So yeah, give it a thumbs up and everybody have a good night.